Hi, my name is Lazar Williams. I'm one of the instructional specialists at Howard Elementary School. We have a part-time specialist. Her name is Sunshine Birch, and we share her with another elementary school. Today I'm going to talk to you about some information that our kindergarten teachers, Vanessa Rivera and Trishalyn Hamlet, put together for us to look at for HRS evidence submission. We're going to be looking at the indicator 2.4. Teachers are provided with clear, ongoing evaluations of their pedagogical strengths and weaknesses that are based on multiple sources of data, and they're consistent with student achievement. We have our surveys here that were taken by all stakeholders of the school. We have our school members, our teachers, and our counselors. We had our parent participation. We had students take the assessment or the survey, as well as administrators. This first area talks about how we provide clear communication. And for our students, we had 41 students take the assessment, and 4.55 indicated that we do well in this area. Staff was at a 4.41. There were 19 of us that took this survey. Our parents also were at a similar area as our staff results, and the admin was at a 3.66. So this is just the data that talks about how the teachers explain activities and strategies to help students learn, talks about how teachers want to better ourselves so that we can be the best for our students. This was our parent survey right here. Their overall was 4.41. They mentioned that the leaders of their school frequently get observed and we're able to get feedback to one another. Students and schools can explain what the instructional strategies that are used in the classroom, the strengths and the weak areas are. And we do provide support when there is an area of growth. The school staff indicated that the lowest area here was school leaders regularly talk to me about the evaluation data they have collected on me. While it is lower than all the other areas, it's still an area of strength because it's above 3.5. And this is the administrator survey. Here's the narrative that our kindergarten teachers put together. The data collected from various stakeholder groups provide insight into perceptions regarding the clarity, consistency, and the quality of the teachers we have at Howard. The stakeholder feedback is overall positive, with students rating this indicator the highest score. This suggests that students generally believe that their teachers understand and can explain the instructional strategies that contribute to their learning. The overall percentage with staff was 4.41, also supports the students' suggestion that we are working toward explaining our instructional strategies to help better grow our learners. Staff responses specifically highlighted support the evaluation system, with the high score and the high means for such items receiving feedback on the rubrics as 4.47. The use of multiple evaluation sources. We have our snapshots as well as our teacher effective evaluation system that is used to help see what areas that we need to improve on and what we're doing well. Parents echoed similar sentiments, believing that school leaders frequently observe and provide feedback to teachers, and that teachers can clearly explain the impact of their instructional methods. In contrast, the school administrators rated themselves lower with a mean score of 3.66, reflecting more of a mode set self-assessment. Their responses range from 3.0 to 4.0 across various evaluation practices, including the use of rubrics, multiple sources of data, and feedback frequency. Again, this was an area that the teachers mentioned. It was the lower area there, but it was still above 3.5. So the administrators are aware that we need to get more feedback for our instructional strategies and instructional activities that we do. This suggests that administration may be more critical of their own efforts or recognize area where the evaluation practices could be strengthened. When averaging the means across all the stakeholder groups, the overall perception of leading indicator 2.4 yields a combined mean of approximately 4.26. This reflects a generally favorable view of the teacher evaluation process across the school community, while also indicating a potential opportunity for growth among administrators in aligning their practices more closely with the stakeholder expectations and self evaluation. In summary, the data point to a well regarded teacher evaluation system is that recognized by students, staff, and parents for its clarity and alignment with student achievement. However, school leaders may see room for further development in their own evaluative roles. Now we're going to look at the lagging indicators that show what Howard does to show that this is a strength. We have our ADE, Effective Evaluation System. We have our district snapshot tools that are used. We have the TNTP snapshot, and we have our learning objectives. First, we'll talk about the ADE, Effective Educator System, or Educator Effectiveness System. Our educators know the importance of Charlotte Danielson's framework for teaching. Educators are aware of the expectations necessary to ensure that we are giving our students all they need to be successful. Not to mention, we consistently reflect on our effectiveness as educators, and our principal effectively uses the state EES rubric to rate and give feedback to teachers. Reflecting and feedback from others is crucial in this profession to continue growing as educators and to improve our effectiveness for current and future students. This is done through teacher observations throughout the year and ratings based on the rubric mentioned. Teachers are given the opportunity to self-reflect by completing a self-evaluation and providing evidence of their hard work. This evidence is given in the form of artifacts which are uploaded in the system. Principals set up observation as well as do weekly walkthroughs. This rubric is available for the teachers. Meetings occur afterwards to go over the observation. Teachers are given timely and direct feedback. Feedback is always beneficial and effective to be able to adjust and implement when needing. I will also add that our teachers in their team time or PLC time are very reflective of the strategies that they're using in class and sharing those ideas with one another. Here we have some evidence that was collected. This was by our principal, Miss Cedra Flake. Upon entering the room, students were completing a lesson of U-Fly. It just talks about everything that she observed. It talks about that the teacher engaged the students. There was some nonfiction text going on. She also had anchor charts that they were using. So just some really good feedback from our administrators who are going in and using that effective system to give us feedback. If we scroll down a little further, and I'll zoom in here. These are the different domains that we're working on towards improving professional responsibility. Domain 3 is instruction, using assessments to enhance our instructions that we're using, the classroom environment, making sure that this is a safe space for all, and planning and preparation. Are our teachers prepared to give our students the best education and instruction that we can? This is the snapshot tool that's used throughout the district. So right here it tells who did the observation, who was being observed. And we'll kind of walk through this observation tool. This observation tool goes in line with our direction that the district and that our school is going in. So the first one is on grade level instruction. Is it relevant? And you can see here where some things are observed and some things were not observed. This is an opportunity for teachers to talk with one another and determine how they can incorporate those things that were not observed if necessary. Here's another snapshot. And this was during science. I'm not sure what subject the other one was done. Let's go back and scroll up and see, because these are done throughout the year. It looks like that one was science as well. But all of our teachers are observed using that rubric, in addition to the teacher effective system rubric. Leaders are not Leaders are not distant or disconnected. Instead, they actively participate in the instructional process. Students regularly see principals and instructional coaches visiting classrooms, engaging with teachers, and sometimes even ask students about their learning. Our school principal, Mrs. Flake, is very diligent and regularly observes teachers and provides feedback. She gives us opportunities to get that feedback through different avenues. One avenue they use is to share their feedback is through the snapshot link from above. We can see immediate feedback in the following area: on grade level instruction, relevant learning objectives, effective feedback, high student engagement, and a safe learning environment. Our school leader provides additional feedbacks in the comment sections for each of us. Additionally, teachers receive feedback through the ADE Effective Educator program, which we used as our Arkansas tests rubric. This is our TNTP snapshot. We were working with the TNTP coach, Mrs. Cecilia Gallagher, and these are some of the things that we've been working with her on. We go through the structures for learning. So, are the students following behavior expectations? What are they learning? So, all of those things that we want to be in place before we can start internalizing content. Then we can, after we see that our structures for learning are in place, we're able to move down and make sure that the instruction is impactful. Because first we have to get those routines and management under control before we're able to really dive into the content. And when our learners follow our rules and our guidelines more, they tend to focus and work a little harder. So the content alignment, this one talks about how foundational skills are observed in the lesson and the teacher reflects grade level standards and they're appropriate for the time of year. So is this relevant and on grade level? This one is asking if the lesson presented was very engaging and child friendly, because sometimes we have to take the curriculum and spin it so that it's very exciting for our students who are used to working on the computer or having technology where they have animations all the time. So our teachers do a fantastic job of making sure that they engage our students and that they make tasks timed appropriately. The other one talks about teacher directed instruction. So this one asked, was the foundational skills explicit and clear? Did the lesson have adequate time for different components? I think I briefly mentioned that. And down here, the last component of the look for was the student practice. So are the students having opportunities to practice those things? So all of these things are there to help make sure that we are using our tools and our strategies to be effective in our classroom. I think this is one that was partially scored. So as you can see, this is kind of like a write-up of it from the Department of Arkansas Education. We serve in a profession in which is continuously growing. Through our leaders, though our leaders do an outstanding job with providing us feedback, different outlooks and approaches are always beneficial. Our TNTP consultant actively participates in not only the instructional process, but the reflective process as well. Teachers and students regularly see the consultant as well as her colleagues while visiting classrooms. She engages with teachers and sometimes engages with students about their learning. Our TNTP consultant observes teachers several times a month and provides immediate feedback. She is also available through email anytime. She provides us with feedback in various ways, including but not limited to reflection and discussion, notes, and the TNTP Look For tool. We can see immediate feedback in the following areas: on grade level instruction, relevant learning objectives, rigor and high engagement, as well as a safe environment. And as we mentioned before, those are the things that our district is working toward on their snapshot tool. So even though this is a outside consultant, the values and the vision align with those of the Fort Smith Public School. Finally, we have our learning objectives. Here you can see this teacher has an objective for phonics. She has one for math, writing, and reading. Our teachers frequently change these as the standards change through their curriculum. When they post assignments of their students completing a task, they ensure that the standard is listed above whatever creation that the student has done. Here they were working to observe local weather conditions and describe patterns of weather over time. That is one of our science standards. As you can see, our friend's doing a great job looking at different types of clouds on this activity. And the students are very proud to see their work displayed in the hall as well. Here's another example where they can write an opinion piece and give a reason. And here's a student doing just that. In my opinion, cats are better than dogs. So I couldn't quite see what the reason is, but you can zoom in on that later if you'd like to finish reading, because that is the standard and the expectation. These are some other images of our answering students. What are we learning today? And why do we need to learn it? Those questions are critical, and students have to be able to be in charge of their own learning. Principals, teachers, and students all use the post-it learning objectives in the classroom. Teachers are able to utilize these learning objectives by explaining to the students what they will be learning and how they can benefit from what they are learning and apply it to their future careers and in their lives. Principals and other evaluators are able to look and see what the objectives are being taught in the classroom for that day. Teachers can use them as reminders or references for themselves and students. Students also use these to remind them of the objectives that they are being taught and the outcome that they are trying to reach. The objectives are also posted outside the classroom by the student work, which I previously mentioned. This is to show everyone who enters the building, whether familiar with the objectives or not, what was taught in the classroom and how did the students do. Our teachers do an excellent job of posting and referring to the learning objectives throughout the lesson. Learning objectives are also found in all the unit plans turned into the principals each quarter. So this overall indicator of 2.4, teachers are provided with clear, ongoing evaluations of their pedagogical strengths and weaknesses that are based on multiple sources of data and are consistent with student achievement. As you can see, this is an area of strength for us, so we will not have an action plan or a plan of action for this step. Thank you for taking the time to look over this information with me, and you have a very nice evening. Thank you.